All right. People are still finding chairs and just, let us know if you need a chair. I think there's a few chairs up here that are available, and I appreciate everybody doing a great job of keeping yourself safe, and just want to welcome everybody to team meeting. Thank you so much for being here. We've got a very busy and exciting day. Very busy and exciting day, and we're excited to kick it off with a thank you to our sponsors. So today, as I'm sure most of you know, and if you don't know, it's a fun surprise. We've got a barbecue food truck in the parking lot. So yay! We're so excited for that. We couldn't go to Austin, so we brought Austin to the Market Center. So there's barbecue, and that'll be super fun. And Steph's reminding me that that's what your ticket is for. So you've got a ticket on your seat, and if you don't have one because you're sitting in the back and you need a ticket, let us know before you go outside. But that's how they'll know that we're not just riffraff, You're KW approved, so that's good. So we want to thank our sponsors for being a part of this day and for making it possible for us to have the food truck. So Mark, with Minnesota Title, you want to come up and just give us a little hello. So thank you, Mark.
It's been a long time. It's nice to see faces, not on the screen, so this is kind of nice. Thank you for the opportunity to sponsor and be a part of this. So Minnesota Title is a locally owned title company. We're actually right down the hall from here at one of our offices. We have 14 offices in the metro area, and we can help you and your clients with anything residential and commercial as far as title goes. And we'd love to meet with you, talk to you. I'd love to sit down and talk to you, especially new agents, if you don't know what title is or how it can help, or title insurance. I'd love to chat with you. So I'll be out here. We've got a table. I've got a bunch of tchotchkes to give you, and pens and notepads, and but then grab one of these flyers, and we'd love to talk to you about title. And Randy, who's at the back of the room, is the closer right down the hall, and his process is Brian. Awesome team. You probably won't get to use him because he's so booked, but we've got other ones, Jane Frank too. But I'd love to talk to you one-on-one about title, see how Minnesota Title and I can help you as you grow your business and move forward. So enjoy the food and enjoy the day. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. And we've also got Jennifer with Cinch Home Services. So if you want to come and give us a little information.
All right, little spiel.
Yeah.
Following Mark is always hard. But thank you for letting me. It is the tchotchke. But anyway, thank you for letting me come today. A couple of things I wanted to mention is with warranty. I know in this kind of crazy seller's market, we really don't think about it as much on the listing side. Our stats in the state show us that less than 5% of listings have a home warranty already on them. So what that tells me as a former realtor, most people are not talking about warranty at the listing appointment. So it could be a great way to set you apart. And warranty for a seller, the real benefit for them, I do believe, from my years of selling real estate, is it's that protection after their close. So if you're in a listing appointment, you want to kind of have the leg up, you've got probably about a 90 or 95% chance your competitor that came in did not talk about it. So definitely think about it. Some of the things that set us apart a little bit would be, we do have a homeowner's insurance reimbursement feature, which is great for agents. If you're on that buy side, most of the time it's getting negotiated in during inspection. So I recommend thinking about it at that point. But if, let's say, your buyer has a tree fall on the house after they purchase it and State Farm's getting them doing repairs, they do have a $500 cash benefit. And really the biggest thing is, I'm your resource. So put me in your phone. If you're at inspections, you want to know if it's something we would cover. If you want to negotiate it in, I'm happy to be of help on that as well. So whether it's weekends, nights, I know real estate doesn't stop Friday at 5, so can you help?
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And we're going to give our other sponsors a chance to share with us about their business at the end. So so stay tuned. All right. So we'd love to kick off a team meeting with a moment of gratitude and some opportunity for bucket fills. So we're going to just take the next 30 seconds. If you've got paper and you want to journal out a few things that you're grateful for, or at least just be mentally thinking about the things that you're grateful for, we're just going to start with a little bit of gratitude. So just take the next couple of seconds and spend it in gratitude. All right. Well, I'm going to kick us off. I want to just extend a very, very, very grateful heart to each and every one of you. It's so great to see your faces. I heard some discussion about that earlier, and we were talking about that, of just how nice it is to be able to come together, to find a way to do it safely. And so I just can't tell you how energizing it is to see all of your faces. So I'm so grateful that you're here. So thank you all. And I think maybe we passed out some, nope, we didn't. So if anybody has anything that they want to share that they're grateful for, you got an opportunity to do so. Steve.
Week of the 21st, profit share.
Okay. All right. Yes, this is true. Profit share is the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, always grateful for that, especially on the 21st.
I just have to shout out, if you guys see Braden and Kaylee are here from Marshall, Minnesota. I know that drive well because if you guys don't know, that's where I'm originally from. So yeah, 2.5 hours is a long way to drive for some chance to get a part of this, better part of this.
They came for the food.
To be real, that's partly why. Hey, you know.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else?
80-degree weather.
Yeah. Yes.
Hi, I'm Lisa Williams. I'm new here, so I am grateful that I passed the courses, passed the test. And I had a lot of good support along the way.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to hear that. We're glad you're here. Welcome.
Thanks.
Yay, Lisa.
Yay. So fun. All right, let's roll on. We've got a lot to cover today. So we've got some. We didn't want to miss this because I know it's so important in this market, especially. So we're going to highlight some coming soon and buyer needs.
Yep.
Taylor, you got it.
Yep, real quick.
Right.
And just a reminder, everyone has access to this. We send it out. You can enter your coming soon listings and buyer needs. So let me go to this side so I can read it. Kelly's got one coming on the 29th, 340. Pinewood Drive in Apple Valley, 4-level, 4-bed, 3-bath. I thought I saw Kelly in here this morning. No? Okay. So check that one out. Corey's got one coming on the 25th, 90-ish, Prior Lake. It's a condo, 2-bed, 1-bath. October, Jason Oliver has one coming on also 90K in Blooming Prairie. That's going to be a 3-bed, 2-bath. Colin's got one coming on the 25th, 214 in Brooklyn Center. And that's going to be a 3-bed, 2-bath. Sarah, you've got one coming on in October, 345. Knoll Ridge Drive in Egan, 3-bed, 3-bath. Anything to add to that one?
It needs some love.
Okay. Need some love.
Priced accordingly.
Price accordingly.
There you go.
I'll hit you right at the end here, Krista. On the 25th, Sarah Anderson, you also have one coming on 260 in Richfield. 2-bed, 1-bath.
Yep.
Anything particular?
Super cute little house on the corner, close to everything in Richfield.
Okay.
Great house.
And then one more, early October, 2.1, is that right?
Yeah.
Nice. Minneapolis, 5-bed, 5-bath.
Yep.
Anything you want to add about that one?
That one is right on the old Lake Calhoun, super close to kind of the uptown area. It's really a beautiful house.
Awesome. Congrats. Anybody else have coming soon that they didn't get on the board yet? Krista.
I've got a kind of an unusual little teeny condo in a basement of a brownstone. It's a studio condo for $89,900 up by Lake Erie, Ryan's in 43rd. Hopefully we'll be on here. I gotta get the photographer out there and get it photographed. So, yeah. Unique little property, very interesting.
Michelle, you had one?
I have a few. I have a little quad, one of the quads in Rosemount on Claret for $195. It's a 3-bedroom 2-bath. I have a condo on Silverville in Egan. That's going to be 168, and that's a 1-bedroom with a den. And then I have a co-op one in Burnsville on Gramercy. And that's going to be 230. I think it is.
Okay, cool.
Joe, you want to share?
Yeah, I've got 2 in St. Paul, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, no garage in the neighborhood. I think it's called North End. I have a price to get, probably going to be right around 125. And the other one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 kitchens. Used to be a duplex. That's probably going to be around 150. They'll both probably be coming on right around the 1st of October.
Okay. Chad?
Same as Steve, anybody looking for duplexes or singles under 200, let us know. We've got 5 duplexes, 5 singles.
Michelle Markison is.
Connect afterwards.
You
right?
got to take her over here with Michelle. Michelle Markison.
Michelle's gonna connect with you.
Did you have a?
I do, I
Okay.
have a listing coming up 2 weeks out in Montrose. It's a split, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage.
Awesome. Yeah, Heather.
Got a little 3-bedroom, 2-story in Shakopee, 165. It's a full remodel, but it's looking for a project. A 4-bedroom Rambler up in Andover, fully remodeled, beautiful.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then I think I saw Dean hacking into the system here. October 9th, he's got one for him and Shannon, 425 in Andover, 5-bed, 4-bath.
Stuff with 2-story.
Okay. Cool. Any other coming soons? Okay, since we had so many of those, I'm not going to go over all the buyer needs, but stay tuned to the Facebook page because I post this after the team meeting. Go on there and look at them just for the sake of time and content today. So.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And we're just gonna roll right into some congratulations because there are some new people, Lisa and some other new faces here. We celebrate when you get to the point where you've capped on the commission that you pay into the company and you're earning 100% of your commission. So these are the folks who have recently capped, and we are so excited to celebrate with them. I'll say all their names and then we'll congratulate them together. So Kristen and Cheryl and Sarah and Jessica, Dean and Shannon, congratulations, you guys. We love that milestone, and to keep the congratulations and the excitement going, we're gonna welcome some new faces. Lisa is obviously here, so yay. And Vicky and Renee, so be sure that when you see them around the office, you give them a warm welcome, and we're so glad that you're here, so yay. And a big welcome to the newest team member, the newest member of our team is Peggy Mead. She's in the back there, she's gonna give you a wave. Peggy! So Peggy joined us just on Monday. She is the assistant team leader, and there is her email if you want to email her, or her phone number if you want to give her a call. I would expect you'll be hearing from her. She'll be reaching out to you to introduce herself and to build connections with you guys. So we're so excited you're here, Peggy. Thank you. Yay. Woo. All right, a couple of things to be sure you've got on your calendar. So Win More Listings with Keller Mortgage is on September 24th. So that's tomorrow at 11. So if Keller Mortgage is something that you would like to learn more about, then sit down with, come in here to this, to Colin's class or join us via Zoom. Also tomorrow is Whitelist with Me with Dave Jenks. So that's a class that, so Dave Jenks is a national presenter. He's fantastic. And if you've ever taken a class with Dave before, then you know, I'm sure that this is already on your calendar. If you haven't, it's a not to miss class. He's legacy at KW, and I promise you he knows a thing or two about listings. So be sure that you put that on your calendar. It's from 1 to 2:30, so it's a 90-minute class, and that's a class that Keller Williams Preferred Realty is sponsoring on your behalf. So we paid for your ticket, so be sure that you sign up and attend that one. And then next Tuesday we've got Understanding Business Structure with Bethany. So that is at noon, and Wednesday is agent speed dating, back by popular demand. And I would just say that everybody needs to be here for that. It's a great chance for newer agents to connect with seasoned agents and for everybody to kind of get to know one another on a personal level. And for those of us who've been in the business for a little while, for us to share kind of, you know, some of our knowledge with some of the newer agents. And then we are starting another Ignite session on October 5th. So remember, Ignite is not just for brand new agents, it's for anybody who's wanting to make sure that they've got a solid foundation of knowledge and skills. And so I've been talking to a lot of agents who are like, you know what, I think that I'm gonna go through Ignite again, even though they've been in the business for quite a while. Everybody is always welcome. But certainly brand new agents are definitely gonna wanna have that on their calendar. So that is starting October 5th. All right, yay. Now we've got at least a half an hour to mastermind about Mega Camp. So how awesome was Mega Camp this year? Yay! You know, I don't know about you, but I didn't know what to expect. We're maybe sometimes a little bit zoomed out. Anybody feeling a little bit like, another Zoom, can I pay attention? But I personally was blown away at the platform. I liked the interactiveness of being able to kind of engage with other people. This is a little impromptu, but Michelle, would you mind sharing with people what you achieved at Mega Camp?
Sure.
Okay. It's probably just one of the things that you achieved, but Michelle, the master networker, tell us
Yeah, I
your
love
story.
networking a lot. So I reached out to different agents and just introduced myself and asked if they wanted to have a 15-minute coffee break just over the phone or via Zoom, whatever. Set up quite a few coffee breaks to have with agents throughout the country. One responded to me from Fresno, California, and he said, oddly enough that you reached out, I have some people that want to move to Minneapolis. And I said, wait, what? So they are really close to their fires, so they are done with California and they are coming back. They haven't been here since the mid-70s, so he was like, I'm pretty sure it's changed a little bit. I'm like, no. Anyway, so within 3 days, I have them under contract, cash offer, cash buyer, $650,000.
Wow. Wow. So good. And it's a good reminder to always be networking, to, you know, even though we're in a virtual environment, it's still an opportunity to create connections with other agents. And it's a good reminder too that part of Command is the referral network. Connect with 180,000 other real estate agents and start building those relationships. And you can even look at the map to see where are people moving here from. And that's a great place to start. So I love that. I love that you pounced on that opportunity. So that's one win that came from Mega Camp. I would say another win is 40,000 people attended. 40,000 people attended Mega Camp. So that is just I think it blew everybody away. So we're just gonna kind of do this popcorn style. I kind of challenged everybody to bring your top ahas from Mega Camp. So we probably all attended the different sessions, and things stuck out to us differently. And so it's just gonna kind of be, we're just gonna raise our hands, and I'm gonna ask that you guys share, you know, what are a couple of big ahas that you took away, and we're just gonna get started. So who wants to kick us off? First aha.
I don't know if it's an aha, but I always love Gary's stats, and I like the one that I've used actually 3-4 times just talking with clients has been the when they ask how real estate is doing, and I tell them, I said the unemployment is really affecting the under 24-year-olds, not the higher income earners and that kind of thing. And it was interesting on that chart, because I got a copy of it on my iPad when I was on there, is that, you know, most of our 71% of our buyers don't even fall into that unemployment category. So it just shows that it hasn't impacted real estate as much, because only less than 3% of under 24-year-olds are home buyers.
Right, there you go. That was a good stat. Yeah, Tammy.
I think my biggest thing was the results of COVID being that technology and how to utilize that, and how some agents are really finding that it's actually making their job so much easier than before. So things like that, they're doing them on a, I think it was WebJam or something, some website that they could do webinar jam. And basically it was a recorded program, you know, recorded by our program, and they just had somebody who was in the chat room. So
Oh, cool. Yeah.
so it's really, yeah, so technology, and it's my biggest fear. I'm not the only one in the room.
No,
So, but that was a huge one.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think technology is designed to help us, and sometimes, you know, it can kind of be that learning curve of getting over the hump. But yeah, I heard the same thing, that, you know, I think buyer behavior and tolerance for doing things virtually has really gone up. And how do we leverage that? You know, how do you take advantage of not spending an hour and a half in the car driving to and from an appointment, and instead just, you know, have that interaction and build that rapport over Zoom or over, you know, whatever platform. So I love that. I love it. Jess, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, to me, it was the 54% of people are willing to use somebody else because it could be simpler. So like a plumber, they have their person that they always use, but they're deciding to go with somebody else because they can pay online. There's contactless things. And so then really that not only can that affect like our database, but it also can affect the people who maybe aren't in our database that can be added.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, a third of people in a Google poll said that that they are more comfortable with a contactless solution right now. So for those agents who are, you know, resisting going virtual, you know, that represents an opportunity for those agents who aren't resisting it, right? So yeah, that was a good insight. Yeah. How about you, Tom?
Yeah, Gary's market update. I mean, one of the things he talked about was maybe kind of a preview into what next spring might look like.
Oh.
You know, as of July, there were 3% of loans in delinquency 90+ days. And if that number in forbearance stays high, you know, we're likely to see, you know, more foreclosures, short sales, and that kind of in the second quarter of next year. So.
Yeah. And one thing that I think is an opportunity for us as the fiduciaries that we are is to open up and to make normal that conversation. So when you're reaching out and doing care calls, which we still should be doing to people because people's lives are still impacted, you know, reaching out to them and just opening up the conversation just by saying, hey, you know, a lot of people have opted for forbearance, and, you know, if that's something that you have questions about, I'd love to be able to talk to you about that, because there's a lot of areas that there's some confusion around that and what exactly does it mean. And certainly if they are in forbearance themselves, it's a great opportunity for you to be sure that, you know, you're helping them if they want to list their home, or, you know, have a conversation about what their options are. Just creating the space for them to be able to have that conversation with you, because sometimes people, there might be some emotion around that they might hold back offering that information. So awesome. All right, who else? Steve.
Of course, one of the great things about MegaCamp is to hear Gary talk about the market and to see his graphs and charts. Naturally, I would love that. But I think the one chart that maybe we should all print out and maybe even laminate it, where he talks about the 4 basic job categories on the right and the 6 on the left, that the domino effect in basically the ones on the right are the people not making as much money, and a couple people have already mentioned this. The domino effect that could happen if those people aren't able, well, as an example, the one clear on the right, I believe, is transportation, the airline industry. You know, my wife Carmen works in that industry, and if those people aren't able to keep their house payments up, the domino effect that it will have on the 6 on the left, and how those people losing their homes can eventually affect other people, and we could be back into a real mess in terms of short sales and foreclosure. So I think maybe we all need to Google forbearance and read up on it, learn about it. What does it mean? And also kind of study that chart, I think would be a great idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. What else?
I have one.
Great.
There was so since COVID, there's been 800 million on Facebook doing live streams. And they're going to brands that reinforce that digital based environment now. And 65% of home buyers are affected by their friends' opinions on social media.
That is powerful. That's very powerful. Yeah. So, kind of going in a little bit of the same direction. I wrote down when they were talking to Facebook that 15 million potential leads per month are created because people are searching terms: virtual home tours, virtual open houses, virtual 3D tours. So more and more, we're going to be needing to be sure that we've got, maybe Matterport or, doing, I've seen some agents very successfully doing with their phone, going through and doing a really nice high, pretty high quality video through the home of kind of a virtual open house. More and more, those are going to be getting the views and getting people, that's what people are actually searching for. So you have a unique opportunity to kind of be that agent who's willing to just, provide the solution to people in the format that they want. Yeah, Michelle.
I mean, that's what I did with the couple out in California. They haven't even seen the house. So they, I went and did 2 houses that they were interested in. I did on my phone, just did a video of the homes, and they both commented, oh, there's a lot of things that you don't see in the photos that you see in a video. And so that helped them make a decision, to purchase the one over the other.
Yes, yes. And just a reminder on your app, there is an option for people when they're looking at homes to pick that they want to schedule a virtual tour with you. And so you can get notifications. So especially when you're working with out-of-state buyers, I mean, that's just going to be the norm going forward no matter what. But some people are just more comfortable with that. So I love that. That was perfect. Okay. Anyone else got something? Let's hear some more ahas or big takeaways. Yes, Michelle, go for it.
Well, I think it's more, I really enjoyed it just because I don't feel like I missed anything. If there was, 2 classes that I was interested in, at the same time, I didn't have to go back and look at one. And if I think I didn't hear something correctly, I can always go back in it and listen again.
Yes, that's a good reminder. We have access to the videos for 60 days. So if you did miss something, then you can go back and rewatch it and, take notes. And that's kind of a cool feature. FOMO. Ronnie, what you got?
Yeah, I think also many things that were really good, but just watching Gary Keller interview people, and then his posture of humility. And this is a billionaire whose jaw is dropping because of the business he's created.
Yeah.
And the businesses people have created, and he's taking it like a kid, like, wow. I'm thinking, oh, Gary Keller, I should be surprised, but that was like really moving just to see that kind of humility. He still wants to learn. He's like, wow, how did you do that?
Yeah.
What does that mean? So,
Definitely. Who else? Keep them coming. If you've already said one, you can say another one. It's all good. Who else has something? Steve, go for it.
I'm not sure who mentioned if it was Gary or Jay or Josh, but for people that are uncertain, that want to sell, but they're not sure they're going to find what they're looking for, consider bridge loans. Because you could be pretty certain that your house is going to sell. The uncertainty is, am I going to find what I'm looking for? So consider using a bridge loan to bridge that gap.
Sure. Yeah. I think, the name of the game is how do we get folks in a creative way, maybe sometimes, to the finish line in the least stressful way possible. So I think the industry is ripe for disruption in that area. And, obviously with Keller offers and some things that might be coming to us down the road within the company, but then, being creative and thinking about going to your lenders and finding out what options they might have, so that you can kind of be that solution person for them. Get creative with them. All right, what else? Jessica.
I liked when the Peters were Andy and
Leslie? Yeah.
They were talking about the fact that they did events, and they've always done a lot of events. However, they were like, well, at first, like, not a lot of people came on, and then they came to this realization that they could just send out the information recorded. Right? So then it's on demand, because it's people, like, if they can't make it during this or that or whatever, they can still be part of it. And then also, just educationally, if you did a video or you did a Bloom or whatever it is, that you could send it to them when they want it. And so then you can reach out to people and base it on that, and it was really a huge leverage piece to them.
Yeah, very cool. Did anybody attend the session or listen to the interview with Mr. Whatever It Takes? Yeah. I like that one. I love, he's a maximizer, right? Like, he's somebody who does something and then kind of takes it to the next level. So instead of, just delivering pies to people, he delivered 127 pies in a tuxedo. Okay, so like, you can do something and then you can do something in a way that is absolutely memorable. Like, people will talk about it afterwards and it will be special. And that's the reaction you want. Like, if you're gonna do a client appreciation something or other, figure out what the next level is for you, and kind of like that was the inspiration for me with him. He also talked about, like, the very start of COVID, when people were, quarantined, he found himself, watching a lot of Netflix. I'm sure none of you, did any of that. I feel like I maybe exhausted the entirety of Netflix, but they keep adding things, so that's good. So he made a list of his top 10 favorite movies on Netflix and then shared it with people, and then took it to the next level and put little bags together of popcorn and movie theater snacks, and just very safely dropped it on their door, just with a little note. It's just, things don't have to be like super expensive or super over the top, but putting a tuxedo on probably is a little over the top, but making it special. I liked his talk. Did anybody watch the one with the gal who did the brews and buying at the brewery and first time home buyer session? Yes. Yeah. Any nuggets from that one that kind of stuck out in your mind? Go for it, Ronnie.
That was really creative. I must do one just for the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Charcoal just looking for the brew. First time I went there, the owner took me straight to the brewery to pay me order my beer. Come and see. Okay. This was pre-COVID, so I think we have a rapport there. So
yeah,
that was awesome. That was really
exactly. And I think now is a time where this is a great opportunity for us to support other small businesses. Like, we're small businesses and we can go to a brewery and say, hey, if I brought 30 people in, would that be helpful to you? I'm going to guess that they say, yes, please. Businesses are suffering right now. So we can kind of think of creative ways that we can do that. Although she did have to pivot because, the brewery was closed. And so then she did it virtually and found out 30 people still showed up, and she didn't even have to buy them beer. Hey, well, that's pretty cool. One thing that I liked from her also was that she does a workbook, and it's very well branded all throughout, but having them kind of work through that, because if you've ever done a first time home buyer seminar, you probably know that a lot of the people who come to it have some work that they need to do to prepare to be ready for it. And if you're the person who gave them some ideas and some tools and maybe, a connection with your favorite lender to make sure that they were ready for that, they're going to remember you. And if they have the workbook and you're branded all throughout it, they're definitely going to remember you. So I like that little extra special touch with that. And then she also had them all register on Eventbrite. So then she captured all of their information, which is, just another great, and it's free. Eventbrite is free. Did anybody watch the session with Nikki Klein about creating a Facebook community? Jessica shaking her head, yes. Yes, yes. Anyone? No one? Okay, that's the one to watch. If Facebook is your thing, if you want to create a community, I will tell you that let me get to my notes on that one. So she moved to Boca Raton from Connecticut, I want to say, but completely new market. She didn't know anybody. And she had this Facebook group that was her go-to in the community that she came from. And anytime she needed a resource, she just popped on that Facebook group and, got information, posted a question. It was a very active Facebook group. When she moved to Boca Raton, there wasn't one. And she was like, okay, I'll just create it, I guess. So she created a Facebook group, which is all about connecting people and helping each other find the answers. And she now has 15,000 people in her Facebook group. She approves each and every one of them, is an opportunity to build connection with each and every one of them. There are no other real estate agents allowed in the group. She makes it very clear, like, hey, I'm going to connect you to other people. I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you resources, but real estate is my business. And so you're going to see listings from me. And people are very tolerant of that. They're very happy to, see listings from her and support her because she's adding so much to the community. Another thing that she does is whenever there's a nonprofit looking for help or a community organization looking for volunteers, she kind of is that connection point there as well. So what she learned was people want to support the community. They just sometimes have a hard time finding like how they can get involved. And so she creates opportunities and is sort of the matchmaker between the community and her contacts. And she said, there might be other groups already out there, but that didn't deter her. Like there were tons of realtors who had started groups that, weren't as great as hers. So she said, her answer to that was just do it anyhow and make yours better. So don't let that stop you. If Facebook is something that you feel like and building community is something that comes naturally to you, that might be a great place for you to start. And then she had a couple of things that she did consistently. So every Saturday was Small Business Saturday. She would interview a small business owner and do a profile piece on them on the Facebook group, do a quick video. And when you really think about it, then you're building that relationship with that small business owner who's then probably going to share that with their community as well. And so now you've just increased your exposure, not just to your own community, but to their community as well. So I thought that was really cool. And then she did a market update report monthly. And just, I think having a good balance of real estate and non-real estate stuff is probably the important thing. But, her whole thing was just solving people's problems. And she started with solving a problem for herself. So, creating a community that she wanted, which was pretty cool. Any other nuggets that you guys wrote down? Still looking for more ahas or more, just ideas? Yes, go for it.
I really enjoyed the interview of Keith Cunningham, who was the rich dad in Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And he talked about the three interlocking circles I'm good at, what people want, and what people will pay for, and find that sweet spot. But then he had a quote that I just thought was excellent. Consistent execution in ordinary situations. And if anybody's got a profession that needs that, it's us, I think. So I like that. I like that quote.
That's good. That's really good. What else? I'm going through my notes, so just shout something out. Yes, Tom, go for it.
I thought it was interesting, the interview that Josh had with Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
And just hearing from their perspective why they chose to partner with KW. And hearing it from them was just kind of, we've heard KW saying, we've got this relationship with Google and Facebook, but hearing it from their side, I think was huge.
Yes.
And, there's other real estate companies that have business relationships with Google and Facebook, but more as a consumer as opposed to a partnership.
Yes, yes. And I love that. I think it was the gal from Facebook who said, that it's not a vendor relationship, it's a business partnership. And that is the difference. We are partners with them and they are partners with us. And so that was, I loved that too. I loved just hearing from them, and you could tell that they really admired KW as a company. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that says a lot. Yeah, Jess.
Yeah, to tie into that, when it was interesting when she said that, basically Gary Keller came up with this 4 years ago saying he was a tech company, and that who would have known that COVID would happen, and that tech is exactly what everybody needs. And so just seeing that he's always, way ahead of what is going to happen and how to deal with it, and knowing that, like they say on his tombstone, it's going to say that he's a realtor.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's what he's always fighting for.
Yeah.
He's a wizard.
Well, he's a bit of a wizard, yes. And actually, Steve, one thing that you, the 3 circles, yes, and in the center is kind of where you exist. But then Steve said there's also one thing that nobody wants to talk about: luck. That luck factors in. And I will say that about Gary, and I think he'd be the first person to admit he is very visionary, and so he's consuming a lot. But sometimes he sees things, and he was lucky. I mean, nobody could possibly have predicted COVID. So I think we can all agree, and I think Gary would also agree, he got lucky. He made a play that technology was going to be important. He didn't know how important it was going to be and how fast. And really what this did was take something that would have taken 3 years and fast forwarded it to, do you have it or don't? And luckily we did. So that is so true. Did anybody watch the Brad Inman interview? Josh interviewed Brad Inman? Or conversation, maybe? Yeah. Yes, I thought that was pretty cool. My favorite quote from all of Mega Camp: Gary Keller is the ultimate entrepreneur in the real estate space. Brad Inman.
Really?
Totally. I know.
Praise
So
the
for
Lord.
those of us who've been in KW for long enough to remember a few years back where Brad and Gary had an interesting conversation on stage.
A passionate conversation.
Yes. And also for those of us who remember that, Gary said, we are a technology company, and everyone was like, they're so ridiculous. And who's laughing now? Ronnie, what you got for me?
No, even in this interview, he was really just raving and just praising Zillow. Zillow is this, Zillow is this. And then I think Josh was pushing back and was like, no, Zillow is this. And I think they realized they might start butting them. But yeah. So, but that was interesting for me.
And you know what? I love that Josh didn't shy away from that conversation, because that's the important thing. That's how you are dealing with true professionals, is when they are willing to have a conversation, even though we don't necessarily see eye to eye. And I think, that's probably not just in our profession, that's something that the world could use a little bit more of right now, is being able to and have the skills to have a conversation with people who we don't necessarily agree, and to be okay with that. Like, Josh and Brad did not agree. They agreed on a lot. There was a lot of overlap in what they agreed on. And then the spaces where they didn't agree and they realized they weren't going to come any closer together, they were okay with. And you can still respect somebody. And I really loved that. That's great.
Yeah. And there's a phrase Josh used to say: do you want an agent powered by technology, or you want technology powered by agents?
Oh.
I don't know which. To me, like what?
Yes.
So I don't know which one is correct. I don't know. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So what Ronnie is talking about is there's a line in the sand. Brad had a real problem with this idea that there's a line, but there really is. You're either this or you're this. So the option is, we are a technology company that is powered by a real estate agent, or we're a real estate company, or you're a real estate agent powered by technology. And so what it looks like when you're a technology company powered by, or with the assistance of an agent, is that's a Zillow model, where they're going to send referrals out, but they're going to be, the technology is the driving force. The technology starts the relationship, and then they farm out, for a little, few cents, a few breadcrumbs, they'll pay an agent to open that door, maybe, and that's not necessarily where we're at today, but Zillow themselves have come right out and said, we'd like to see the real estate agent out of the transaction entirely. So, so I don't know about you, but I want to be on the other side of that. I want technology working for me. I want technology helping me be a better real estate agent, helping me be more responsive, you know, being able to do the things in the business that don't require a human being, which makes me be more effective. So any other, yeah, Steve?
Well, if you really dig down into fiduciary responsibilities, technology maybe can touch on some of that, maybe deliver a little bit of that, but nothing like an agent can deliver fiduciary responsibilities.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Krista?
And I just think this year, just for me, just proves that totally, because everything has come from past clients. It's all relationship this year. The technology and the lead gen, I don't even have to do any of it because I can't keep up with what I've got. So you know, those relationships have really started to pay off this year and just stay in touch with people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still think it's a people business. It always will be.
Yes, yeah, I would tend to agree with you. And
I love the technology part to help people along.
Exactly, and that's it. And you know, the thing that Brad is saying is, you know, I mean, he's saying a few things, and I'm not necessarily going to, share all of them because not all of them make sense to me. But you know, he's really big on Zillow has a $21 billion, you know, market cap, and we can't pretend that they're not there, right? So we just have to be able to acknowledge that they are a force in this industry, and they're a tool, you know, that some agents will choose to use and some agents won't. And at the end of the day, I agree with both of you guys. It is about relationships, and you know, that's job protection, because people do want, I mean, Zillow's not going to pick up the phone at 9 o'clock at night when they're getting cold feet and they want to back out of their contract and they want to know what the deal was, and need someone to talk you off the ledge. So true, so true. Okay, what else? Who else has a favorite nugget from? We're going to share two more. We got time for two more, and then we're going to bring our other sponsors up to share. Who's got a couple? Anyone? A few more nuggets? Yes, go for it.
One thing I've noticed is a lot of us are running Facebook ads.
Yes.
And one thing I took away from Josh Team, he said the internet lead is 7 weeks away from approval. So make sure you're staying in the follow-up, because getting them is not important. It's kind of converting them later down the road.
Yeah, that was good. 7 weeks. So I love that, and I love that's just like random number pulled out of the sky. Like, we look at all the data. We are a data company. Like, we've got all of the data and we can see exactly what's going on. And I love that Josh nerds out on that stuff and then shares that back with us, because it is important. I'm not necessarily the data person who wants to look at it all, but I want somebody to tell me, okay, you know, here's the proven information, because we've crunched all the numbers and here's what we figured out. Love it. One more nugget. Who's got, all right, Tammy.
I can't remember who said it, but he said a lead is a conversation. And I think oftentimes I look at a lead and call them up, and it's, you know, you're not getting that, you know, that right now or whatever, and it just got to remember and follow up. So for me, that was big aha. Just remember that if that lead isn't particularly right now, that's for the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's, you know, at some stage in the buying or selling process, and, you know, it's our job to stay in touch with them. So having a system around that is important. In conclusion of this portion of it, I will say that anytime you attend anything, any class, any mega camp, any even mastermind, and you probably wrote a few notes. I saw a lot of you taking a lot of notes. It's the most important thing you can do is figure out what's the one thing in all of it that you could take action on that would be impactful on your business, and commit to doing just that. I was in a session and it was about the one thing, and I love this quote. If you have 30 things on your to-do list, you have nothing on your to-do list. And that is so true. So pick one thing from this conversation that you might make a change in your business, or that you want to implement, or that you want to share with other people. And that's the one thing that you commit to. And then you've got your notebook full of notes, and you can go back and pick your next thing once you've checked the box by the first one, but just pick one. All right, we're gonna go back to The slide, yes, perfect. All right, so we have two more sponsors that I want to introduce to you. So Tom and Alicia with Branch Property Investigation. Tom, okay, Tom, come on up. Yay, we're so glad you're here. Thank you.
Every time I come to these events, I get a renewed appreciation for what makes Keller Williams special.
Oh.
They're different than other realtors. There's a reason for it. So there's a culture that's it comes through. So I'm the owner, and Alicia's the facilitator of Branch Property Investigations. We do home inspections, radar testing, and more. I'll tell you a little about more. So I was inspecting a $2.1 million home earlier this year, and I noticed the faucet was dripping. So I went out to my car and grabbed my infrared camera and moisture meter, and sure enough, the whole wall next to the vanity was wet. And the buyer was like, wait, you do mold testing? I go, well, yes, I do. So we did mold testing, we found mold in the environment, and we got it all figured out in the same inspection, not having to have multiple appointments or calls. And he was able to get that wrapped into the transaction and make it work. So if you want home inspections and more, think about Branch Property Investigations.
Awesome, thank you so much. All right, and then Karin and Heidi with AJ Moore Electric, come on up. All right. Yay, we're so glad you're here.
Well, we stepped up today because we wanted to share with you guys the services that we provide for potential buyers or sellers. We are a preferred vendor with the Camp Home Group as an electrical contractor. And literally when I walked in this morning, Jason shoved this into my hand and said, this is what we need fixed, electrical gouging on pricing. So he handed me an invoice that somebody actually just recently paid, and we walked through, we've been looking at it while we've been sitting here, and I think we could have done it for half. And it's just kind of a really good example of flat rate pricing that doesn't work. We do hourly pricing, and we figure it out based on what needs to be done. If we're going to quote you, we quote it for 5 hours, it takes us 3, we're going to bill you for 3. And so we know that integrity is important. You guys need your integrity intact, and we're here to help keep that intact. And if you recommend this to somebody, we'd be happy to show you that we have integrity and we're honest in our day's work.
And AJ Moore does work on all my flips. They do a ton of work for our current clients and so forth. And we received that from a seller that we weren't representing, but we needed the paid receipt to clear the inspection contingency. And it was for a buyer that Andy on the team had. And when I got that, my mouth about hit the floor because it was just horrendous how bad it was.
We've been working for 10 years and longer with home warranty programs. Home inspection reports get emailed to us. We review it. Heidi's our service manager. She's in charge of the electricians going out and dispatching. And we always want the copy up front, so when we go in there, we actually probably have what needs to be done, because sometimes things have to happen fast. We sign lien waivers. We give you complete statements of work. We've been doing this for a while, so I think it's something that we can do well for you guys.
And just kind of how we set up with, because never know how long something is going to take. So if it's a larger inspection, we typically will set up for like a 2-hour appointment, so you know what to expect. It's going to be this much in labor. For those 2 hours, we'll get done what we can within that, and then we'll be able to give you an accurate proposal. You know, what else would need to be completed outside of those 2 hours, so that it's not a show up and all of a sudden you have a $1,000 bill when you were expecting 200. So.
They're right here in Burnsville. They work in really the 13 county metro area. How many electricians do you guys have current?
We have 5 service electricians dedicated to service, but we have 30 in the company. So as we need backup, if things need to move fast, we have access to labor.
That's huge. Yes. Awesome. All right.
When are you opening up plumbing division?
Well, come see us. We'd love to chat with you guys more.
Yes,
show you
thank you.
more of what we do.
Thank you so much. Oh, great. So thank you again to all of our sponsors. We're so glad you're here. The invitation stands to go visit with them and learn more about them and get their business cards and so forth. And then we'll head outside and get some barbecue and celebrate together. Remember your ticket. If you are sitting somewhere and you don't have a ticket, there's a bowl of them up front. So come and grab a ticket. And you're welcome to sit outside and enjoy the beautiful day, or come back in here and eat your lunch and just chat with one another. So make it a great day, guys.
Hey, question for you.
Yes.